Ding 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 ding.
Easy work, man.
Easy work, man.
Well, folks, what's the crack? What's the story? What is the crack? What are we at this week? We're beaming again. We're on the ceiling beams. Back to the old same shit. The ceiling beams on the cottage. Now, last week Isla was making she was making the beams. She was getting them looking all beautiful, all nice and aged. Asian beams, isn't that right? Asian wood. And while she was doing that, I was getting the walls ready to fix them in. Doing a bit of fixing. Fixer-upper. So we're attaching the beams to the ceiling by kind of setting them on top of, see what I'm doing right now? I don't really know how to explain this. But basically between the studs in the walls, I am putting in these kind of supports, these kind of timber supports, and then we're going to set the beams on top of those. So it looks like they're hanging, which they kind of are. Looks like they're hanging from the ceiling, but they're actually sitting. They're sitting on top. Now, I came across a bit of a problem here in the bathroom, because where I wanted to put the beams, there's these two electrical cables. Right where I was wanting the beam. Literally right where it needs to go. Which is just classic, to be honest. So, nothing you can't handle. Bit of jiggery pokery needed. We ended up having to actually cut out the beam, cut into the beam. Cut a little groove for the cables. But yeah, I'm putting this bit of 2x4 just in between the two studs, and I've just got the old drill out, drilling in a few screws, and I quite like doing it into stuff that's hidden. It's quite therapeutic because you can just kind of fuck them in, and you don't have to worry if they're all just a bit wonky, a bit sticking out. They don't have to be flush. You just get them in. You just go brrrr, you get them in. So that's what I'm doing. Bit of jiggery pokery. Now, one of the problems I came across was that every single place that we were wanting to put the beams, it's all different in the behind the stud walls. There's no kind of two places that were like the same, just to keep it all kind of similar and samey. So you have to come up with little ways of securing them, and they're all completely different in every single wall. So I had to be inventive. Had to just make some shit up as I went along. This was one example. On the other side of the room, behind the stud wall, it was just concrete block. So I then had to make a fixing straight onto the concrete, which was a little bit more annoying. Not as satisfying, maybe. Had to drill into the concrete, which is pretty annoying, not gonna lie. Took quite a lot of force and effort. I was drilling at it like Billy-O, whoever Billy-O is. As you can see here. So I drilled in with my drill, or whatever you call that, impact driver, and then you get these big kind of concrete screws, and you can screw the wooden block in straight into the block. There you go. That's it, pretty secure. So the beam will just sit on top of that. Happy as Larry. Whoever Larry is. And then in the hallway, I had to make this piece of shit to set the beam on top of. And it's like a wee T-joint. And if you can picture where it's going to go, look, I'm giving you a wee demonstration. The beam's just going to sit on top of that. Yeah. So you just kind of get inside the inner workings of the wall, and you just make stuff up. You just make it up as you go along. Because what's the worst thing that can happen? What, a big timber beam fall on somebody's head? No, my problem. Definitely would be my problem. But it wouldn't be my fault, I'll tell you that. So I'm just Doing a bit of securing here, bit of securing with the old screws. Got myself some big long screws. They're pretty satisfying. Getting them dug in. There you go. You just bang them in at whatever angle. I don't know. Nobody's ever kind of showed me how to do this, so I just bang them in whatever way I can get them in, and it doesn't look the prettiest, but it doesn't matter because you're putting plasterboard over it anyway. So I think I'm right. But you just get them. You get them rammed in there by. Ready for a few beams. Sure, I've said this before, but I kind of wish that I'd done kind of joinery or carpentry or something. Instead of spending all that time and money going to uni to do medicine. I quite like a wee bit of the old joinery stuff, even though I just fudge it. I enjoy it. It's very useful. Anyway, here's us trying to install the beam, me and Andy, and me reminding Isla to take the camera off slow-mo.
Up in toilet window.
Isla, you don't have that in slow-mo, do you? Isla.
David, calm down. I'm doing it.
It's not in slow-mo.
No.
Stick it on its
It
side.
was.
That way.
Yeah.
Always check that your woman doesn't have the camera in slow-mo. FYI. Good wee life lesson.
Till we get to there, I'm going to try and... Oh, this ain't going to work, mate. We need to be this end of it. Bloody hell, mate. Or, you could a great jump line across plasterboard across there.
So basically it wouldn't fit in just the way that we'd kind of originally done it, but then we got a few more holes cut out of the wall. As you can see, there's another hole in the wall there just by in the hallway, which meant you could kind of push the beam all the way through into the hallway and then scooch it back up so that it's only in the bathroom. So a lot of holes were made in the walls, and I promise you there's many more holes to be made in these walls, but I guess that's the nature of the beast. And that, you can kind of see there just the way it's resting on top of that wee bit of timber and the concrete, and then where Andy's pulling away at those wires. You see what we were playing at there then? So we had to cut a notch out of the timber on the wire end so that they could just fit snugly in there. Snug as a bug in a rug. And you know what? With a bit of pushing and shoving and some strong willpower, you get there in the end, don't you? Because look at that. I'm not sure if that's it in yet. I think there was still some more banging to be done. But as we were messing about in the house, look at this poor old fella, this poor chap, up in our bed, on his own wee bed. He does that, he brings his wee bed up onto ours. Oh, bless him. He says, I'm fucking sick of this shite. I'm sick of it. Get me to that beach. Nah. Anyway, that's kind of the stage that we're at. Beam is secure, and wee bit of expanding foam in around the wall, just to kind of tidy it up a bit. And that's us for this week. Yeah, boys, yous. I hope yous enjoyed that. Few beams. Anyway, see yous next week. Bye.